Ventilation is something that doesn't necessarily have the spotlight as other mechanical systems in buildings, and typically ventilation previously has just been looked at as a table in a code document, and depending on the activity indoors, you just select a CFM per person and you run with it. However, what people don't realize is ventilation is critical on how the physiological operation of the human body functions and its efficiency in that function within the built environment. And ventilation, as I may have said earlier, it has been around for millions of years. Early humans realized that if they were able to ventilate a space, they could bring fire indoors. Egyptian stone carvers performed more efficiently when they carved outside and there was air that pulled away some of the stone dust rather than carving the stone inside the pyramids themselves. So ventilation has been around for millions of years and aids us on how we live inside the built environment. Now, if we go back to the 1900s, we used somewhere in the range of about 55 different products for construction. Today, we're over 50,000 products that are used inside the built environment. And the main reason for that is because of the oil embargo back in the 1980s, where we had to save energy, and buildings consume close to about 70% of the total plugged load here in North America. Out of that 70% of the total plug load of a building or a home, ventilation itself is about 50 to as much as 70% of that plug load. So there's a high energy cost when it comes to ventilation. And what we did is we looked at sealing these structures tighter and tighter by using these additional tens of thousands of products, but to make it more energy efficient. And the second we did that, we ended up with something called sick building syndrome, or deficient indoor air quality. Ventilation has been increasing in the volume that's being introduced per person ever since that problem in the early 80s. So ventilation is critical on how human life lives indoors and is perceived indoors.